please download and purchase the Good Vibes Only album at keithsharif.com. If you would like to hear the full song to our intro, check out track 5 on the album now. Good Vibes Only. Album out now on all streaming platforms.
Baby, you're my cocaine. She got me feeling like a dolphin. I'm addicted to a black queen, baby, you're my cocaine. She got me feeling like a dolphin. I'm addicted to a black
Back to Love Life After. This is Brittany.
And I'm Christelle.
And on today's episode, we will be closing out the season of season 4 of Love Life After podcast. So we will be doing some questions from our reviewers and listeners, and we'll be doing some shout outs as well. So let's get into it. What questions do we have to answer?
Okay, the first question is, do y'all have open communications?
Do we have open communication? For the most part, I feel like yes. Christelle is a cosmetologist during the day, so she don't really respond to text messages. So I have to call her. And sometimes when we do text, sometimes things are misinterpreted. But when we cross that bridge, we'll communicate and get it, sorted out right then and there. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I feel like we do have open communication, and I feel like we're on the same page. If we weren't, then we probably wouldn't be able to work together.
Right.
But yeah. Next question.
The next question is, have y'all ever told each other the truth about something that the other done to y'all?
What you mean?
I don't know. That's
like, if you ever
made
you feel away or something
right.
like that?
Have I ever made you feel away?
I feel like sometimes your tone, but I feel like I get that too. Like something like, oh, your tone. Like if Christelle say something, I'm like, girl, don't talk to me like I'm a kid. Like I'll say something right then and there, so that way like it's nipped in the bud already, so that way it's not build up. But I don't know. Have I ever made you feel away and you ain't say nothing to me?
No, I mean I don't really like. I don't take people's. I guess that's how I am, because I don't take people's comment or just. I don't take it serious. I mean, I take it seriously, but I don't let them get to me.
You don't let it get to you.
Get to me. So even if someone did something, I wouldn't really know if it's meant to be hurtful or because I just don't let it.
Basically, that's not where your mind is.
Yeah, right. My mind is not.
Yeah.
And I'm very nonchalant when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah, she
is very nonchalant.
Yeah.
Me on the other hand, I feel like I low-key be in my feelings about certain things sometimes, but I be like, Britt, you really gotta rethink and reevaluate because it's probably not even you, it's probably them. So just take a step back, and if it is an issue, and I really deeply feel a way about it, if I'm really, really close with you and I feel like our relationship is really, really important, then I'm like, you know what, let me have a conversation with this person because, I don't like the way this is going. So that way it don't escalate any further. But
right. Yeah. And I mean, right, exactly. That's how I feel, because I feel like we are grown, and I'm at a point in my life where I've been for a while where, I mean, it is what it is. And if I've done something wrong to someone, then I'm like, I'm sorry if you feel some type of way. If you feel like I did something to you, then I'm sorry. But I don't remember the last time I had any of that type of
any conflict or arguments.
Anything.
I feel like we too grown. I feel like at this point in time it's just if there is a feeling or uncomfortability, I feel like we should be able to talk about it. I mean, it has been brought up when Christelle, they be like, oh, Christelle doesn't talk enough, she doesn't do this enough on the podcast, and I'm like, Christelle, you need to open up. I've told her this plenty of times, yo, you from Africa. Talk about your heritage. Talk about where you come from. People don't know that. People didn't know you grew up with a maid. People didn't know your dad was a professional soccer player. That is interesting to talk about. So I do get on her about that. I really do. And, that's something that we just voice to each other. Or Brittany, you curse too much. Stop cursing. I get that. Yeah, I get that a lot. And, I know it's not ladylike. And I know it's not something that, that I should do, especially on this platform, because I have a podcast and things like that. And it's something that I'm working on. You know, like, I'm working on it.
Everything is a work in progress.
Everything is work in progress. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, I still curse in my household in front of my kids sometimes. And I know that, like I said, I know it's not good that I do that. But like I said, I'm working on it. And, you know, it's a process. It's a process. So I've heard that a lot, too. Listeners, I like to listen to your podcast, but Brittany cursed too much. Okay, well, sorry for the listeners, but you know, I'm very passionate when I speak about things, and I mean, I'm trying to work on that, but you know, sometimes I will drop a F-bomb. I will just say the word shit, damn, hell, but like, I mean, I feel like at this point in my life, I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to change and tweak things to make me a better person, but I'm not going to dim my sunlight for anyone.
Anybody, right?
So I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but listen, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people love me, some people don't like me, and that's okay.
You move on.
What's the next question?
But I do want to say something about that too, like with you know, people saying, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I understand that we do have this platform and that we love and appreciate everyone who support and listen to us. But we're trying, that's what we want to do this now, just to read some of the questions that you guys have for us. But we don't want y'all to feel like we're not going to try to change certain things that you guys do have concerns about, but we don't want to feel like we have to change ourselves to, you know,
to fit with society standards. Because it's a whole bunch of podcasts. Like, for example, I'm a fan of all of these podcasts that I listen to. But like, for example, Joe Budden podcast. Like, I mean, some people is a fan of Joe Budden, some people isn't. But he cursed. Like, I don't know. He might get a lot of backlash about his language and what he talk about. He might. I don't know. Right. But I just feel like with us being women and things like that, you know, was always going to be like 10 times harder. I feel like, you know, we're going to be judged more. I feel like it's going to be like we basically under the microscope, basically. I mean, and I don't know, like with other podcasters, if they get the same feedback that we do. We typically get really great feedback. Like, you know, we don't really get negative comments and things like that. Like, we take constructive criticism, all criticism at this point, because we're on a platform, so we're speaking about our truths, we're talking about our families, how we grew up, things that we like to do, things that we dislike, we talk about our children, our spouses. So it's like, it's giving people to make assumptions, giving people to have opinions about our personalities and how we do things, and that's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone is, you know, they're entitled to their opinion. And, you know, people could say or feel what they want. That does not bother me, and it is not going to change who I am as a woman. Because it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that me and Christelle even came together to do this podcast, to be so transparent and to put things on air for y'all to listen and tune in and give us constructive criticism.
And we're still here.
Right.
Don't forget that.
Like, so, you know, it is what it is. Because it was a question. It was like, you know, what was it that I repeat myself a lot? I say the same things in every episode. And to be honest, it's not
every episode.
Well,
do you realize you do it, or do you do it on purpose?
I mean, of course I don't do it on purpose. Like, of course I don't say the same things repeatedly on purpose. But sometimes I do repeat things so that way we have a reference to what I've said before, because I want it to be transparent with my you know, my opinions on how I move and stuff like that. Like, I will say, for example, and of course, like, I repeated this in the last episode. I think I brought this up last episode. Like, so of course, I mean, I don't do it on purpose, but sometimes I do repeat myself as a reference point. Yeah. But yeah.
Right. That part.
What's another question we have?
Okay, the one about, I feel like y'all running out of things to say. Do y'all still feel the same way y'all felt when y'all first started the podcast? I don't know about the running out of things to say. I feel like we always have something to say. But
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. Maybe it said, do y'all still feel the same way y'all felt when y'all started the podcast? Absolutely. Like, actually, like, the reasons why I've many reasons, but one of the reasons why I started the podcast was to just, you know, for this to be an outlet for people to come to and like just vent. That's pretty much it. And just like share their life and then know that, you know, whatever happened, that there's life after that. So I don't think that we're running out of things to say. I had a couple of people that say how they really like the last couple episodes that we've done. And so that's kind of what we want to bring back to y'all and share with y'all, because those were, if you go back and listen, you will know like how exciting and just like authentic that those episodes were, and it was just like talking. So I don't think anybody's ever had.
Yeah, I don't never run out of things to talk about or to base my opinion on. I feel like what we doing now versus what we did in the past, I feel like, we're definitely talking about more current event things,
Right.
and, staying up to date with news and what's going on in the industry. Especially with, the corona pandemic, with the racial injustice, with the campaign, with the voting. Like, I mean, I feel like I don't ever feel like it's gonna not ever be anything to talk about. Like, it's always gonna be something to talk about. Like, so no, I don't feel like we're running out of things to talk about. I just feel like we're strategically planning our content. Like,
Right.
I feel like we strategically plan, and the base of our podcast is basically like self-care, boundaries, uplifting women and men, like, you know what I'm saying, just so we could be better versions of ourselves and live happy and love life after any trial or tribulation.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Do you get defensive when other adults try to discipline your children? I don't, because I really don't, because I'm from a place where everybody, it takes a village to raise kids. So I was raised not just by my mother, but my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, family friends, and all that stuff. So when when an adult period feel the need to discipline my child or done something, which I mean, none of the time, I'm not around a lot of people who does it. So I can't. I'm not mad. I don't mind. I don't know how you feel, but I don't really care.
First and foremost, I don't feel like my children are like bad kids. Like, I don't feel like to be honest, I don't discipline my kids. I mean, I do, but I really discipline my kids because I feel like my children are not bad children. And to be honest, like, if it came down to it, and say if it was like my mom having to discipline my children, I wouldn't feel bad about it. I mean, especially if it was for a valid reason. But somebody just coming, like a stranger or like a friend, oh yeah, I disciplined your son because he did X, Y, and Z. No, that's what you're not going to do. You're going to call me, and then you discuss with me, and then I'll tell you how to handle it. You're not just going to take it upon yourself to discipline my kids. That's how I feel about it. But, to each his own. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that sit well. That's just like if I babysit your kids. Like, I know you don't mind me disciplining your kids, but I'm not going to discipline your kids.
Why not?
Because, like, I don't want nobody just disciplining mine. So I'm not going to discipline yours. I'm going to call you. I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. Yada, yada, yada. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you to come get your kids.
Right.
So you can discipline them. I'm not disciplining them. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. Well, we know he ain't coming over here no more because he's disrespectful.
Right.
And I had to call his mama. Right. So I'm going to let the parents handle that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that. But I guess because of how I was brought up, that's why I just feel like if any adult, period, like family, friends, close friends, or whatever, I don't mind at all. Like, if they've done something wrong.
But what does discipline, like, you mean like physically, like hitting, or you talking about like punishment, or like yelling at them? Like,
I think there's different ways of discipline. You don't have to hit your child for it to be disciplined. You could talk to your kids you could talk to them different a certain way to discipline them. You don't have to like hit them. Like, I don't want to hit nobody's kids. I'm not hitting nobody.
So that need to be clear, because when I think of discipline, I'm thinking of like physical harm.
Not necessarily.
Not say physical harm in the sense like, like abuse, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to.
Well, when I think of discipline, I don't think of just like spanking and all that stuff.
Yeah, spanking.
I don't think about.
So what is discipline to you?
Like, I mean, if I don't know what the question. I don't know how the discipline thing. I don't know what sense do they mean it by. But to me, like if you keeping my kids or something, and if they disrespected you in any type of way, if they did something they're not supposed to be doing, like you should take it up on. I feel like I'm giving you the permission to like talk to them. Hey, don't do this. Tell them if you need to go sit down somewhere or something. That's discipline.
Now that you made that clear, yes. If I was watching your children, they were at my house not behaving, I would definitely say something and be like, listen, we're not doing that.
Right.
And if it continues, I'm like, yo, you gotta come get your kids.
Right.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't play that with my kids. Like, I talk to my kids more than once. It's a dub. They getting games, phones, everything getting taken away.
Right.
Like, so I guess it depends on the situation, who children I'm watching. It's situational.
Yeah.
Because if I have my niece and I have her and she's like going by the socket or touching the socket, don't touch that or like pop her little hand because I need her to know that you're not supposed to touch that socket. So it's different. Right. It depends.
So with that, the next question that goes, I think it probably came from this. Do you think your children can do no wrong? Absolutely not.
All right. What the hell kind of question is that?
Well, I guess I hope that just should answer because we pretty much fixed that.
I mean, I did mention just a second ago that my children, I don't feel like my kids are bad kids. But do they listen all the time? Absolutely not. No. Do they do what I ask them to do and do it right? Absolutely not. Like, they're children. They're still learning. Their brain is still developing. Like, of course they could do wrong. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's enough questions. Let me do one more. Should people take it up on themselves to resolve issues among themselves or go to court?
That's a good one. I mean,
it depends on
the situation.
Yeah, depending on the situation.
I feel like it depends on the situation. I mean, it depends on the person, the situation. If you got money to be going back and forth to court, like.
Right. There's a lady who I know close to me who's going through that right now. And it's not fun. Going through courts is not something that you want to like keep doing. If you're big enough, be adult enough to resolve it among each other than to go to, because once you're in court, you putting all your business into the system. And who wants to do that? You know?
And then like we had a guest on here, the owner of Sincerely Signatures. Like, you don't necessarily have to go to court for everything. If you need something documented, you can always get something notarized. So that way, you know what I'm saying, you got it in black and white.
Right.
But yeah. So on social media during this week, I feel like I'm pretty active on Facebook because I feel like I have more of a following on Facebook. But long story short, y'all know the holidays is coming up, and we still in the midst of this pandemic, and people haven't been really close with their families. Like, people haven't seen their families in months. But I don't know. I seen this post, and I felt the need to reshare it because I felt like it was necessary to share. The post said, instead of exchanging Christmas gifts this year, some families need to exchange apologies, talk about them family secrets, squash old beefs, make peace and forgive. 2020 has been hell of a year. And then I shared it and I made a comment and said, but y'all not ready for this though. With the little hand over the emoji with the hand over the mouth and the little shrug shoulders. I felt like that was kind of necessary to share because, for one, that's how I felt at the moment. But two, I feel like it's very necessary for people to hear that right now because, it's always a mask up when, there are issues. Like, people don't know how to communicate effectively. And it's like, now it's a point in time, it's like, listen, like, we shouldn't be going through certain things as family members and stuff like that. We shouldn't be going through certain things. There shouldn't be no underlying feelings or animosity. Like, we are losing family members left and right. It's too much. It's too much stuff going on. So whatever it is that anyone feels need to come to the forefront, we need to talk about it and discuss it and get over it. Like, for it, and move on. Because I'm 31 and I'm just now being able to like be comfortable with who I am without people talking about me, without people judging me. Right. I'm just now being comfortable with my femininity you know, I've been through things. I've been through hella trauma, and it's like now I'm just now realizing like, okay, like, you know, this is what it is. Like stuff is starting to click and make sense now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
like we said, I'm not trying to say that we're repeating the same thing again. But last week, if you go back on last week's episode, well, not last week, the one with Marissa, we talked about the kitchen table talk. We talked about how, you know, when we're in the age that we're in now, like everything changes. So just want to make sure that you're not in a place where you're still holding those grudges in. And 9 out of 10, like those things that you're holding in, they're going to stretch you out more than the people that you have whatever issues with. So whatever you can do, like you're adults. You're all adults. Just resolve it, talk to people, and move on. Because life is too short.
Life is too short to be holding grudges and animosity and stuff like that. And you know what? Like some of your family members, they might not be for you. Like just because we're blood family members, it technically don't really make you family. Like, and I hate to say that, but you know, like I feel like family is people that you love and genuinely love you back. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, no shade, no funniness to nobody, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would always like be there for family. I would never see family messed up. But it's like if it's a constant battle with toxic family members, people being disrespectful, people not owning their stuff and all of that, like, come on, like, enough is enough. Like, we all adults now. Like, all them harboring feelings, all them childhood traumas, like, that's something that you need to heal and work on. Like, and it's not my responsibility to sit here and basically hold that stuff in and basically, like, just forget about what has been said or what has been done and not feel a way about it.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to put it, because at this point of time, who has time for all that extra stuff?
Nobody.
So
nobody.
Right, but that was a good one. We just want to give shout outs to all the people that have been on the podcast the last couple episodes. So we just want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for the support. Thank you for always being there and encouraging us. So just shout out to all of you, by the way, all of you who listen, all of you who give us your feedback, the questions, just for your support. And shout out to
Kristen, Keith, Jasmine, Marissa, Kiba, and shout out to B2B _podcast on Instagram, Black to the Basics. A podcast. This podcast, they've been supporting us from day one, and we just wanted to give them a shout out. Again, their Instagram is B2B _podcast, Black to the Basics. So y'all go follow them.
Yes. And with that being said, we want you guys to continue to do that self-care. Take care of yourself, like those boundaries, your health, because if you don't take care of yourself, no one will. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing to make sure that your health is important, then absolutely no one is gonna like take care of you. Mm-hmm. Only you can be you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, but Brittany, you have anything else you want to add?
I mean, I was just on my Instagram scrolling, and I just mentioned about like, you know, about family and stuff like that. And 19 Keys, I don't know if y'all have heard of him, but he's like a conscious guy. He's basically doing like a speech on the difference between family and relatives. So I don't even have to even look at the video to even discuss what he's saying, but it's basically go back to what I said. Like, you know, family is people that love you and that you love, and they love you back genuinely. So yeah, it was just crazy because I just mentioned that and I seen this on Instagram. But yeah, you got any closing out comments or remarks?
No, but I do have something I want to add. So I don't know if you listened to the last closing of the last season. I talked about Black Love Hair. It was the episode with Black Love. So I just wanted people to, if you're still, you know, if you're interested, just go ahead and send those videos in where talk about your blackness, your hair, why you love wearing your hair, why you love natural hair, why you don't like your hair, why you don't like natural hair, and just like a break, because our hair is our crown. So I'm still continuing to do that. So I want people to send as many videos so I could get that out. And just think about, this, because if your hair don't look good, you don't feel good about yourself. So if you want to send me those 60-second videos and just let me know why you love your hair and why you embrace your blackness. Okay? And I do want to shout out to Tivash Image. She does an awesome job. If y'all look at Brittany's picture on Instagram, she did an awesome job on her picture. So I just wanted to shout her out. Instagram, Tivash Image. So just, make sure y'all go follow her.
All right, guys. And I don't really have anything else to say, but if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com. Please send in those questions. I don't mind answering questions. I mean, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to be transparent and as humble as ever as I ever am. I'm not going to change. That's just who I am. But it's been a great season. It's been a great run. We have great things coming. So y'all just stay tuned and listen out and catch up on seasons 1 through 4. And, look out for season 5 because we will be coming back in 2021. We don't know exactly the date yet, but we will keep y'all informed. And yeah.
And we hope that 2021 is better than 2020.
Facts.
2020, y'all know 2020
it's been hell of a year,
right?
Hell of a year.
So we hope and pray that we come back next year with better news and not so much loss and griefs and stuff. So
yeah. All right, guys, and that's Love Life After. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at love.lifeafter, and send us emails, questions. If you want to be a guest on the next season, email us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com. And it's Love Life After, and we're out.
Like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen, a black queen.
I know I'm addicted.